Welcome back to the channel, everybody. How you doing? I just want to say I appreciate you guys being here. Today we are going to talk about the last book of ACOTAR. I finally finished with the series, so I can't wait to talk about this last book. I'll do a video in the future talking about like my favorites and ranking videos, so on and so forth. So let's get into A Court of Silver and Flame. This book is interesting. It's completely different than the other four. 3.5, whatever. And I did not expect that. I went in thinking, whoa, this is a little different, because you follow Nesta, because you have the Christmas special where the Christmas special really eases into what's going to happen in this book. And this is literally the relationship of Nesta and Cassian. This is where the definition of sex in a castle, or corn in a castle, I should say, is here. There's a lot of it. Now, does that mean I dislike the book for that? No, but I will say my biggest problem about that element of the book is I think it strips away the intimacy of love, because the two characters love each other. Spoilers, I guess. I mean, if you made it this far, you guys already know what's happening in this book. Spoilers, I guess. This book, Nesta is down bad. She's an alcoholic. She's a drunk. She's just a loser. In this book, they all have basically like, hey, yo, you need to go to this tower, and Cassian's gonna help you. He's gonna train you to become a warrior. If not, you're going back with the humans. You're screwed. And of course, she hates it. And when you first started getting your feet wet with it, you actually kind of like Nesta, because Nesta is arguably one of the best characters in the whole series, I think personally. I've said this plenty of times, Feyre sucks. I'm not a big fan of Feyre, and I never will be. So reading this book, and Feyre's not the main character in this book. She doesn't even have her own like chapters. It's just all Nesta and Cassian, which is cool. It's a little different. But with this, you get to really get through the lens of Nesta, and it's like 800 pages. It's a really big book. And the best thing that she does in this is character development. I've said this before in a lot of her books. I felt like since they're first person, you don't really get these good character moments because it's through the lens of Feyre. But this is all Nesta's POV and Cassian's POV. So you get to really learn these characters through their own lens. And I think that's awesome. There is books, I think, in series that do a really good job at first person, but I think Sarah J. Maas just doesn't do the greatest with it, because you don't have those good character moments like she was implying with the previous books. But this one does a lot better job with it, I think. Now, I always like Nesta and I always like Cassian, so reading this book, I was actually pretty excited to get into this. But one of my biggest problems, and I was explaining to my girlfriend about it, her and I talked about this quite a bit because she read the series, so I always update her on how I feel about this book or how the series is in general. But with this book, I really did like it. The biggest problem is and this is the weirdest thing, I didn't really care how long the length was, because you could definitely feel like, oh yeah, Nesta's growing as a character through this whole book. And there's implements of like these stairs. It's like 10,000 stairs, and the way that Nesta tries to walk down these stairs, but she can only make it to 100, and then a few chapters later she's like to 1,000. It's proof of progression through the story of her becoming a better character, her growing as a character. And that's where I was like, okay, this is cooking. Sarah J. Maas is cooking in this book, which is awesome. My biggest flaw is maybe I'm just really old school about this kind of thing, and maybe I read too many other actual romance novels, not like this romantic-y stuff. Now, does that mean all romantics like this? I have no idea. I haven't read enough of them, and the comments keep telling me that. With this, my biggest problem is when I read novels and they hint at the love of these two characters for so long, and they don't confess their love until like towards the end of the book, and then that's when they like hook up, and those are really powerful moments for me. Problem is with this book, Nesta and Cassian already have those, like, you can tell like the heat is between them, but oh my gosh, they basically did friends with benefits before they became mates. Like, they were banging and stuff before they became mates. And I'm gonna be honest, it really upset me. It really took me away from that element of the story. I knew it was going to happen. You could really tell from the two of them. Like, Sarah J. Maas is like, we're going to throw them up in this castle alone, and they're going to spend a lot of time together. Were they truly alone? No, but they were alone most of the time. So you have those elements, but oh my gosh, the way that she did this really upset me, because it was like 200 pages in, and they already started fooling around. I was like, oh man. Come on, man. Like, I don't know. It really took away the excitement, I guess. Now, I'm not a guy that's like, oh my gosh, I need to see this. But it's like, I just wish it was done differently. I kind of wish it was like 450 pages or something, and it finally happens. They finally like confess their love to one another, and then they do the deed. But they don't. And it was kind of upsetting to see that element of that book that I think it took away everything. And there's another part of this where this is my other complaint, and it really upsets me because I was explaining to my girlfriend that I did like this book. But again, I think we need a book where we need more than 1 or 2 POVs. There's a whole time where in the other part of the book is where Feyre's pregnant and Rhysand's like freaking out because Feyre could like die from this, right? But we don't ever get to see those POV chapters. We never get to see those elements. And we have 800 pages. Like, it can be done. Plenty of people do it plenty of times. Now, I get this is Nesta's book. But again, why can't we have like 3 or 4 chapters? Just what's going on in Feyre's head about her being pregnant, or Rhysand. Instead, we have Rhysand telling Cassian what's going on. How does he feel? And I think that's fine, but it's also just like, I don't know. I just feel like I would rather have a chapter of like a Rhysand chapter, him talking about these things, or Feyre worrying about it. Granted, I know they didn't talk about it early on. Rhysand's like, yo, we are not going to tell Feyre any of this, which is fine. But I'm just saying in general, though, it's like, it's just weird to me. So I don't know. And then you have like, Elaine is barely in this book, even though her and Nesta are like super close. I understand why Elaine's not in this book too much because of Nesta, but it's also just like, oh, alright, whatever. So in general, though, I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5. I think the book was fun. It's just those complaints really bothered me, especially the whole sex part. It just really upset me reading this. I expected it to be like a slow burn, but it really wasn't. Like, you felt the tension immediately, and it was just, I don't know, it was kind of upsetting if you asked me. But regardless, though, I did enjoy this book. I really did like seeing the progress of Nesta. Does that mean I'm excited for book 5? It's supposed to come out this year, so I guess I'm caught up. So if book 5 comes out this year, your boy's probably gonna read it. Probably the day it gets released, I'll be reading it and you'll see a review of it. But regardless, though, what was your thoughts of ACOTAR? I'd love to know down below. And last but not least, stay safe, stay humble, and tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay weird.